Hi everyone, I'm Chung Win for Gotta Be Mobile and Notebooks.com. In this video, we're going to go ahead and take a look at the Samsung Galaxy Note 2, which is this device in the center. This is the US version and it's designed for T-Mobile USA's network. Samsung has announced that the Galaxy Note 2 will be coming to all four major US carriers, AT&T, Sprint, T-Mobile, and Verizon Wireless, as well as regional carrier US Cellular. Let's go ahead and compare the Galaxy Note 2 to its predecessor. The Note 2 is both a little bit taller and slightly wider than the Galaxy Note 1. It's also slightly slimmer, and unlike the Galaxy Note, the original Note, which had a textured back battery cover, the Galaxy Note 2 has a glossy and smooth polycarbonate back battery cover. In fact, the Galaxy Note 2 is similar to the Galaxy S3, which is Samsung's current generation flagship smartphone right now, and it borrows many of the design languages from the Galaxy Note 1 as well as the Samsung Galaxy S3. In terms of the Galaxy Note's design, the front of the device is taken up by a large 5.5-inch display, which is larger than the 5.3-inch on the original Galaxy Note. The 5.5-inch display is an HD Super AMOLED display with a 1280 by 720p resolution, which is a similar 16:9 aspect ratio as that found on the Galaxy S3. The Galaxy Note 2's display, however, is a non-Pental based display, which means you're going to see a little bit of a brighter display, sharper text and graphics, and you'll definitely notice that outdoors when you're trying to view the device under direct sunlight. At the top, you do have the speaker grille, a proximity sensor and ambient light sensor, as well as a front-facing camera. Over here on this side, you'll have a flashing notification light, which automatically turns off when the screen is on, and will automatically turn on again once the screen is powered off if you have any waiting notifications that you did not dismiss. Towards the bottom, you have the home button, which is flanked on either side by a menu button as well as a back button. The menu button also does dual purpose and pulls up the Google Now user interface. And you can see your current weather conditions, and you can also do your Google search from Google Now. Let's go ahead and take a look at the rear of the device. The rear has an 8 megapixel camera with an LED flash on the right hand side. The camera can record video in 1080p resolution. Towards the bottom, you have the speaker grille as well as the holder for the digital pen. Samsung calls this the S Pen, and we're going to go ahead and go into the S Pen's capabilities in just a moment. Once you remove the back battery cover, you'll notice that here is the antenna for the Near Field Communications chipset, or the NFC radio. On the back, you have a rather capacious 3100 milliamp hour battery, which will give the Note 2 all day long battery life and great performance. You also have a micro SD card slot, which can accommodate up to a 64GB card. The Note is available in various capacities. The one that I'm reviewing for T-Mobile USA's network is with 16GB of onboard memory. There's also a micro SIM card slot. The Note 2 also has 2GB of RAM and is powered by a quad-core 1.6 GHz Samsung Exynos processor, which is based on ARM Holdings technology, and it will lend itself to a very fluid interface. Let's go ahead and take a look at the Samsung Galaxy Note 2 software. The Samsung Galaxy Note 2 has a TouchWiz user interface overlay, which is custom made and proprietary to Samsung, and it is overlaid on top of Android 4.1 Jelly Bean, which is the most recent version of the Android operating system. Fortunately for the Galaxy Note 2, Samsung made good use of the large 5.5-inch HD display. You do have some apps, some Samsung-made apps that lend itself to a tablet UI, such as the mail and messaging apps. For instance, let's go into the email application. If you rotate the device into a landscape orientation, you do have a multi-pane view here with the left pane showing you your email list and you do have a slider here which you can grab and slide down, and the right pane will give you your email preview. So you can go ahead and quickly triage your email that way. The windows are resizable, as you can see here. The interface also extends to the messaging app, where you do have a dual pane layout here in the messaging app, where you have your list here on the left hand side, and then you have the preview on the right hand side. Unfortunately though, the tablet UI doesn't extend to all applications, as we will see here when we go into the Contacts application. Rotating to landscape view will give you just a normal smartphone-like user interface. Another cool feature is the S Pen feature, which is this digital stylus here. Once you remove the S Pen, if you're on the home screen, you're going to see a new screen that's custom for the S Pen, which will allow you to get into your notes and also templates quickly and easily. You can go ahead and scroll back into your regular home screen views as well. The nice thing about S Pen is that it's been optimized for the Galaxy Note 2's applications. For instance, if you're in the email list here, if you go ahead and just hover over the touch screen without even tapping on the screen, it will give you a preview of your email without having to open up the email itself. This is the nice feature so that you don't have to go into the email and read it and then having to back out of the email, and it will save you some time. Another cool feature with the S Pen is that once you're in a website that has a lot of drop-down menus, for instance here we're in the Porsche website, let's go ahead and turn it to landscape orientation. Sometimes in the past, if you want to access these drop-down menus, you would have to tap on it and it would actually launch the menu item rather than open up or expand the menu. But you can hover over these menus and it will just go ahead and allow you to just drop down the menu like you would if you hovered over the items with your mouse. On a smartphone without the S Pen, for instance, you would just have to tap on it, and here once I tap on it, it actually launches the page instead of expanding the menu. So that's a nice feature of the S Pen as well. Another cool feature of the Galaxy Note 2 is that pop-ups are welcomed on this device, and it will lend to a better multitasking environment. So for instance, if I were to go into this email from Jackie Vittorino, and there's an email link here, all I would have to do is just tap on the link and a pop-up browser would open, which will allow me to view the content that Jackie had emailed me. Here it's about the release of the Galaxy Note 2 on AT&T's 4G LTE network. I can go ahead and reposition the browser anywhere on my device, which will give me still access to the email if I still wanted to read or go through the email. And of course, if this the link is important, I can go ahead and expand the pop-up browser into a full normal size browser. Pop-ups are also enabled for a video player, so if you have video, you can go ahead and play it anywhere on the screen. With video, however, you can resize the video player pop-up so you can take up more or less screen real estate. Like the Galaxy S3, with the Galaxy Note 2, you do have access to a number of smart sensors, which makes use of embedded sensors such as the front-facing camera or the accelerometer. For instance, here there's a Smart Alert and a Quick Glance one. So basically with Quick Glance, if the device has been off for some time, and basically it makes use of the front-facing camera, so I can wave my hand over it and it will go ahead and turn on, and it will show me any notifications or items that I have missed while the display has been off. It does take a while to be responsive, and I'm not sure if it's because of this review unit or if it's just a feature that's built in and Samsung still has to fine-tune it, but you just saw it launch up and it will give you a display of what's going on. Another cool feature relates to the display. like the Samsung Galaxy S3, you do have Smart Stay, which will make use of the front-facing camera, and if the device detects that a face is actually looking at the screen, then the screen won't automatically time out. There's also Smart Rotation, which is good if you're reading an ebook or browsing the web in bed, and if you're laying sideways or awkwardly, sometimes the screen would rotate when you don't want it to. So Smart Rotation detects which orientation your face is and orients the device that way, so it doesn't automatically rotate when you don't want it to rotate. And while the Apple boasts that the iPhone has a device that's best for one-handed usability, a common complaint with the Galaxy Note, the original one, is that it's too large to access with one hand, particularly if you're trying to text someone quickly with your thumb. The nice thing about the Galaxy Note 2 is that there's an option for one-handed operation, and you can go ahead and create this for either the dial pad or the keypad, and also the Samsung keyboard. So let's go ahead and enable one-handed operation for the Samsung keyboard. And what you see here is that if we go ahead and open up the message application and try to compose a message, you'll notice here that the keyboard has been compressed and skewed over to one side so that I can reach even the furthest keys with my thumb while holding the device comfortably in one hand. And then for it's easily accessible for right-handed and left-handed users in the same way, so that you can go ahead and quickly change the orientation of the keyboard. Samsung also brought some of the cool sharing features from the camera on the Galaxy S3 over to the Galaxy Note 2. For instance, you do have the same buddy share feature and the share shot feature, which allows users on the same Wi-Fi Direct network, if you have other users with Galaxy products, such as a smartphone or a tablet, anything that you capture on your camera would automatically be transferred and saved over Wi-Fi to their devices if you're in share shot mode, and anything that they capture on their device would be automatically transferred to your device as well once you're connected to the same Wi-Fi Direct network. However, there are some cool features here, such as a low light mode, which will allow you to capture images where there's low available lighting and still have a steady shot. One of my favorite features is called Best Face feature. So if you're taking a picture in a group setting, usually there's always someone who's not blinking, who's blinking or who's not smiling when the shutter button gets pressed. And with Best Face, it works in a similar way as HDR works, in that it takes a series of continuous photos and it analyzes the face on each person and chooses the best face, or allows you to choose the best face, and then it merges all the face into a resulting image so that everyone's smiling and all eyes are open and not blinking in the final image. And once you've captured your images, let's go ahead and take a look at the gallery application. Many of the features of the gallery application add to the visual appeal, but don't necessarily have a lot of impact on the usability of the device, such as this timeline feature, which allows you to go ahead and span through the timeline of captured images. And there's also a spiral feature, which allows you to spiral through various images that you've captured. A cool feature deals with sharing, and you can go ahead and create albums. So creating an album is relatively easy. All you have to do is hit that album, and then you can go ahead and group images, and then all you would have to do is drag them into your new album. And then you can go ahead and save. So these are just some of the highlighted features of the Samsung Galaxy Note 2, which lends to a very complete tablet-like user interface on a smartphone. The review unit that we have tested here operates on T-Mobile's 4G HSPA Plus network, but models from AT&T, Sprint, and Verizon Wireless will use 4G LTE connectivity, which is the first time that a quad-core Exynos processor is being paired with 4G LTE in the US market. I'm Chung Nguyen for Gotta Be Mobile. Thanks for watching this quick video review of the Samsung Galaxy Note 2. Stay tuned for additional videos and content of the Galaxy Note 2 and visit gottabemobile.com.